What is going on, YouTubeverse? John Stanek from Johnny Radio here, bringing you another Top 5 on this glorious Top 5 Friday. And guys, it's rare that I do any kind of negative video on this channel, but in light of the Grammys this past week, and I've been seeing a lot of these on YouTube of movies and music, like most overrated videos. So I thought it might be a fun time to tell you my top 5 most overrated artists. And this isn't necessarily going to be of all time, but certainly of current times. I would say, like, over the last 15 years or so, these are the artists of current that I think are most overrated. And when I say overrated, you need to kind of define that. I'm not saying that any of these artists are not talented. I'm just saying that the talent level may not match the level of accolades that they get, whether it be awards or great, or they're critical darlings, 100% of the time. So let's just keep all that in mind before we get to it. But I'm sure I'm going to make some people angry no matter what. But let's get to it. At number 5. Beyonce. Yes, I know a lot of you are probably just going to turn off this video right now, but I have to say, first and foremost, as far as talent goes, she is very talented, amazing singer, amazing performer. I mean, one of my top 5 Super Bowl performances. I thought she was incredible there. I actually enjoy quite a few of her albums, but I think in light of the recent comments that Jay-Z made at the Grammys, it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I know she wasn't saying this, he was, but when you have 32 Grammys to your name, the most of any artist in Grammy history, it doesn't show a lot of humility to have your husband on stage say, but complain that you never won Album of the Year. It's like, come on, you've got the most Grammys of all time. And when you start thinking of it that way, I don't know that Beyonce is the person that I would say should have the most Grammys of any person. I mean, Stevie Wonder, hello? There's plenty of artists that I think could easily or should easily have more than her if we're talking about awards. But of course, the Grammys, is kind of nonsense anyway. And I will give Jay-Z some praise for kind of calling out the issues of, I would agree with him that the Grammys don't always get it right. And by that rationale, Jay-Z, I'm sorry, but I don't think Beyonce should have the most Grammys of all time. She's great, but I think a little bit overrated when you're comparing the talent level to the accolades. And that's my number 5. So now at number 4, Arcade Fire. This is a band that I just don't get, okay? And they don't have a ton of Grammys. I think they've only won one for alternative album, but they're one of these bands that anytime one of their albums comes out, they just get consistently high praise from every outlet. And I just see a lot, and maybe you guys can explain it to me, because I see it a lot just on the internets that people just love this band and think they're the best thing since Radiohead or since one of the best alternative bands to come out of the 2010s and current. And I just don't get it, man. I have tried patiently to listen to several of their albums and see if anything connects with me, but nothing ever does. So that's why I had to mention them on this list. I don't think, again, that they don't have talent or anything. It's just they don't do it for me. And apparently they do for a lot of other people. But that's my number 4. And now at number 3.
I got my peaches out in Georgia. Oh yeah, shit. I get my weed from California.
Justin Bieber. Okay, now he hasn't been mentioned recently. He wasn't nominated for any Grammys this past year. But let's be honest, over the last, 15 years or whatever, this guy, he's just one of those pop stars. And I know a lot of people give him a hard time, and it's pop music, so I'm not gonna say too much negative about it, only to say that any new kind of kiddie pop artist that comes along and they all sound kind of the same with the same production, same melodies, I just call them all the Biebers, because to me it's just like music that, even Peaches, which I would say that might be, as far as all his songs go, the one that's a little more catchy. But when he performed that at the Grammys a couple years ago, it was like it stood out as just very, I don't know, man, like comparing to all the other performances that night, just very immature and not amazing. So I know most of his fan base is not the kind of people that watch my channel. I get that. And I don't think he's like highly revered as far as like Rolling Stone, giving out great scores and stuff like that. But he's won some Grammys and whatnot. And I just, I don't know, man. I don't see what it is about the Biebers that everybody loves. But yeah, that's my number 3. So now at number 2. I got loyalty, got royalty inside my DNA. Kendrick Lamar. This is another one I'm going to get some heat for, I know. And let me just say, I understand, this guy is super talented, but I've talked about this on some of my other videos with Nathaniel when we were doing the top 100 albums of the 21st century, and his style I just don't like. Definitely you can see he's very talented as far as like how fast he can rap and stuff, but a lot of times he's rhyming like the same word with the same word, and just the subject matter is always like extremely dark, and like I don't like the tone of his voice. Like, he's just one of these artists that kind of like Arcade Fire, I just don't get. And I don't get why his albums are so highly praised as like some of the greatest albums of all time. I don't see it. Like, I kind of see, that he's doing something different, and I appreciate that. But like, To Pimp a Butterfly being one of the greatest albums of all time, no, man, I don't see that being, it's nothing like any of the albums behind me. And I'm sorry, man, Kendrick Lamar, I think is one of the most overrated artists of all time. And that's my number 2. So now at number 1, Taylor Swift. Have to say it, man. Have to say it. And definitely in light of the Grammys this past week, her behavior was just like so bizarre. And I've always thought like, she's a little awkward and weird anyway. Definitely never got into any, I can't like even name one of her songs for you. There's something about shaking it up or shaking it off. I don't know. But I mean, like, before the whole Celine Dion thing, which if those of you who don't know, when she won her 4th Grammy for Album of the Year, setting the record for that, she went up stage and was like hugging all her friends, but then just like took the award from Celine Dion without even making eye contact with her. And I realized she was all like wrapped up in the moment, but just super awkward. And when she accepted an award earlier in the night, she announced her next album, just a little bit egocentric, I would say. And, kind of going back to what I was saying about Jay-Z, how he was talking about Beyonce, it's like, a little humility goes a long way, in my opinion. And I think Taylor Swift continually is showing she doesn't have much of that. And I'm just sick and tired of hearing her name like every single day in the news. I think a lot of other people are as well. And certainly, I don't think that her music is anywhere near the accolades or the attention that she gets. And like, I don't care that she's like always in the Super Bowl. I don't watch the Super Bowl anyway, but I watch the halftime shows. But, Taylor Swift, man, just I definitely don't see how she could have the most Album of the Year awards. Like, Midnight's wasn't even like that good compared to her own standards. I get like a little bit of the hype with albums like Folklore, her trying something different, a little bit more of a folk acoustic thing. But even that album, I don't get it, man. Like, I've tried to listen to her stuff and nothing invites me in. I do think she's the most overrated, certainly currently. And maybe of all time. We will see. But let me know in the comments below what you think. What would your top 5 most overrated be? And am I way off base here? I often feel like when I'm watching the Grammys, I'm totally out of touch with popular music, and maybe I am. I don't know, but I'm certainly not a Swiftie. And hey, you can bash me all you want in the comments below, but that is my opinion, man. So let me know what you think I should talk about next. We got top 5s every Friday, album reviews, so much more. Thank you for watching, and as always, Viva la vinyl. So guys, thanks so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and be sure to ring the bell for notifications so you can always see great quality content like you're seeing on the screen right now. Thank you so much for supporting Johnny Radio, and I'll see you soon.